Hello, everyone, and welcome to the application incubation session of SupTech Week. Why did we title this session as 3 essential applications needed for financial consumer protection? Well, we know, and we're going to specifically focus on complaints and consumer issues that, where consumers are having issues with financial products and services. And so we know that one way that consumers do that is by submitting complaints to their financial institution to try to resolve the issues. And those financial institutions are required to then periodically send to the central bank or the financial authority in their jurisdiction periodic reports of those complaints and how they're resolved, how fast they're resolved. But we also hear that that does not provide sufficient insight. And financial authorities would like to have real-time insights on the bank's complaints data. And so more and more, we're seeing that rather than waiting for those quarterly reports of banks' complaints, financial authorities are eager to collect the data directly from the bank's databases. And so our first presentation for the application incubation session will be for the development of that API. How do we do that? And then the second essential application is when those complaints are not resolved by the banks in a satisfactory manner for the consumers, they're typically able to then submit complaints directly to the financial authority as a way to escalate their issue. And so we also see tools necessary to manage complaints handling with automated workflow and processing. And also further, to reduce the number of complaints that come in by using an AI chatbot to respond to inquiries, to help with consumers with financial literacy and to try to resolve their issues on their own. And then finally, we're seeing increased data collection relating to consumer complaints by using web scraping. So now, not are we just waiting for financial authorities to submit data or those APIs to collect data about complaints or issues that have already happened, but also now using web scraping to add the data to the collection to do more predictive analysis. And so instead of just waiting for the complaints to come in, to try to prevent the issues from happening. So those are the 3 main applications that we see used for financial consumer complaints. And how do we do that? Well, solutions could be procured with a solution provider. They could be developed in-house. But this year, the application incubation program has worked with 3 vendors on a hybrid solution where the solution provider is developing the software application and then delivering the source code and installing the code directly on the agency's on-prem infrastructure. And so those might be another way to leverage expertise from solution providers, but at the same time leverage internal resources. So with that, we're going to start with our first presentation on the API development. And I invite the vendor, our team from Link Development, to join me to share their presentation on the work that we've done so far. Marwan, Mohammed, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Over to you.
Thank you, Nathalie. I will start the presentation. I'm Marwan Khalil from Link Development, and I will be speaking about the complaints monitor and the analysis platform. Okay. Let's start with the objectives. Is to create a comprehensive compliance monitoring for banks' complaints and analysis for the platform for the financial authorities. This happens through automating the collection and validation process of the bank's complaints data, then consolidating this vast amount of structured and unstructured complaints in a secure store for further analysis. And then finally, automating the analysis of the bank complaints using statistical reports such as the FCP risk indicator report or the granular data insights. The benefits of having such platform for a financial authority is it gives an access to near real-time granular complaints from the bank databases. It correlates the complaints escalated to the agency with the bank with the original bank complaints. It identifies the strengths and weaknesses of the bank operations. It gives the financial authority the visibility and notification of market risk indicators and to detect emerging concerns and risks. It updates or enforces the policy informed by consumer complaints data. And then it gives generate reports and analytics swiftly, saving time and workforce resources. It easily updates and assesses supervised entities' compliance with consumer protection and market product standards, and finally, quickly identify concentrations of complaints. This is as the results of such system are like these are two examples of two reports. Okay, one of them is the FCP risk indicator report, and as we can see here, we have the banks and we have the zoomed in data about the performance of the banks, such as the number of complaints per 1,000 customers, the ranking of the bank versus the market, the score, number of complaints per 1,000 customer, the first resolution percentage, and also the ranking for the bank regarding the first contact resolution percentage, and the score of the bank, the rates of the complaints that were resolved within 5 business days, and ranking of the bank regarding this, and the score of the bank regarding this also, and many other data that helps the financial authority to have a greater look at the market. The other report is like the EDR and the ADR granular data report, which, as we can see here, it contains all the reports, all the data points gathered from the complaint, such as what's the complaint source, what's the reference, the date, the submission date of the complaint, the date of the resolving, the details, did it breach the SLA or not, and what's the reason, the complaint resolution, and many other things. Okay, how did we prepare for this? First of all, we defined the complaint data points, which these data points are the ones that will be captured from the banks and will be used for the analytics further. Okay, we will define the data points and the validation rules using the SupTech data dictionary workbook. Okay, then we move to integrate with the financial authority entity database as a single point of truth regarding the regulated entities, which is in this case we have the banks. Third, we collaborate with the pilot banks to implement the unified complaints taxonomy, the data points that we defined earlier, and to develop a client side that will consume an API. Here we are building an API. This API will be used for the banks to submit their complaints to the financial authority system, and then these complaints will be used for analytics further, as mentioned in the previous slide. Then we assess the bank's capabilities for API integration. If banks cannot integrate, we have the option for Excel upload for the complaints. Next comes the development part. The team develops and integrates on-prem tested solution incrementally through iterations. Finally, the system is deployed on the staging environment of the financial institution. And here, the pilot banks, they test the integration with the developed solution that was deployed on the staging. And finally, the system is rolled out to the production through deployment in the production environment. Here, this is a process of how to define data points. First of all, the entity defines all the data points required to be gathered from the banks, which are the bank's data and the complaints data. Then the next step is to define what are the validation rules for these data points, what are the acceptable and unacceptable values, what are the required and unrequired data. Then next, we validate with the banks the ability to provide these required data. And then finally, we specify the requirements for the reports. And as we can see here, this is an iterative or an agile approach where each point goes to the another. And then finally, when we have the reports here, we might revisit again the data points, and then we go to validate the validation rules and to the banks until we come to a point where we have a solid data points that will fulfill the business needs for the reports, and the banks can provide them. I'll switch now to Muhammad Gouda, my colleague. He will continue the presentation.
Thanks, Marwan. So 1 second, let me share from my side. Please stop sharing so I can share it. Okay, thank you. So, okay, yeah. So yeah, you see my screen. So I give you a bit of context about the technical solution. It's a bit crowded diagram, but I will just talk from a very high level. So this is our blueprint. We have data sources, which are banks. We have the data, which is a complaints from the bank side. And we have some insights based on analyzing the data. And on the right side here, we have the people and the processes. But mainly what I would like to focus on here is this part. So you see some building blocks with different colors. So we have on the semi-green color is a software code that delivers some aggregate tables to correlate agency and bank complaints. And the dark blue part, building blocks, is the legacy system, the solutions that existing before we start our solution. And the red building blocks are our current solutions that work on progress to build the APIs to facilitate collecting complaints from different banks. And the yellow building blocks are focused on the future, some innovative ideas to leverage the AI, machine learning, and natural language processing to take this solution even further. And here's like a high-level design for our solution. We have, as Marwan mentioned, we have two types of banks: banks that already integrate using APIs, and some banks that are still building their API integration capabilities. So we try to afford the solutions that work for both of them. So for the ready banks, we exposed an API to receive data directly from them. For other banks, we built a web interface to allow them like uploading bulk data through a web interface till they build their integration activities. We receive, let me just use this pointer to visualize. So here. So we receive this data, it's analyzed and validated into like a temporary database. And finally, the accepted records go to the centralized database, and the rejected records will go back to the banks to fix those invalid data.
Sorry, Marwan.
The main features in our
sorry to interrupt, but we're going to be running out of time if you want to try to wrap up very quickly.
Yeah, so mainly we have 4 features in our APIs, like APIs to confirm bank details and metadata, 1 for security, for authentication and authorization, and 2 endpoints for sending complaints, 1 for the transactional ones, like 1 by 1, and 1 for the bulk upload. And we try to focus on these 4 main quality attributes. We pay attention to security, data privacy, performance, and interoperability to be able to integrate with different integration points from bank sides. Yeah, and I think for the second time, I can wrap it here. So thank you, Nathalie.
Thank you so much for presenting. And again, in the interest of time, we're going to move on to our next vendor and hopefully have some time for Q&A at the end. So Matellio is developing software for an AI-powered chatbot with in partnership with CEPS in Ecuador. And they are here to present today a little demo of their work. Over to Matellio. Hi, Ashok. Hi, Ishan.
Thank you, Nathalie.
Okay, over to you.
Thank you. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Hold on. All right. Is it now?
It sure is. And I apologize ahead of time if I have to interrupt, but speak fast because the clock is running. Go for it.
For sure. Thank you. All right. So today's discussion is going to be all about the financial protection suite, right? That we are developing. And it's in progress project, which we are about to complete in the month of January, right? Let me move ahead with the further slides where we will be giving you a quick brief about what the project is all about, right? Moving ahead, the agenda for today is I'll be talking a bit about Matellio, what Matellio as a company we do, right? And then we'll have the business value proposition for the project that we are executing, and then the overview of the complete project, followed by the architectural overview and the impact. All about us at Matellio, we are a trusted global technology partner with over a decade of experience delivering the innovative digital solutions tailored to complex business challenges. We are specialized in developing SupTech and RegTech solutions to promote financial governance compliance and literacy. Our team also excels in creating Gen AI powered applications to enhance user experiences through machine learning and NLP. Uh, with a strong track record of financial, legal, and regulatory domains, we have supported businesses worldwide with secure, scalable platforms designed for sensitive financial ecosystems. We empower financial entities such as banks, wealth managers, and insurers with solutions that combine flexibility, security, and smart analytics. Our recent success includes the current project, which is about the financial protection suite for SEPs, which is setting a benchmark in the usability, security, and compliance standards. Right. With this, I would like to move on to the next slide, which is about the business value proposition for this project. Um, to begin with, the enhanced customer experience, right? Our user-centric platform ensures smooth onboarding, intuitive navigation, prompt issue resolution, customizable workflows, caters to the diverse financial institutions' needs, right? Enabling the supervising the service delivery, right? Followed by the scalability and flexibility with a modular architecture. The platform again seamlessly accommodates upgrades like multilingual support and AI integration while scaling to meet the increased user demands. And then we have the strategic alignment with the SEP's visions, right? Our platform supports SEP's mission to advance financial literacy, security, and regulatory compliance. It fosters collaboration with SEPs, financial institutions, and users to create a trustworthy ecosystem. And then we have the competitive advantage for financial institutions, which is by enabling a faster claim resolutions, better customer support service, right, and the compliance assurance, where uh, the FIs gain a competitive edge, advanced analytics, refined offerings, ensuring the market's relevance. And then we have the return on investment, for which we are going to deliver again, which is about the process automation, which will be minimizing the operational cost, that will boost the resource utilization and reduces the compliance penalties through an advanced SLA monitoring system. Right. This is all about the business value proposition for the project. With this, I would like to pass it on to Ashok, who is the project manager for this engagement, who would be talking about the project overview. Over to you, Ashok.
Thank you, Ishan. Let's move to next slide. Okay, a lot of details in the slide. Okay, so yeah, first go to objective. The objective of this project is to create a modern and efficient web portal which is powered by AI. The platform is designed to enhance financial consumer protection by enabling users to submit complaint and track their resolution. It also streamlines the complaint management process for regulatory bodies while providing data-driven insight to help them make informed decisions. Let's move to key features. First is the web portal. It acts as a central platform where user can create account, file their claims. It also allows them to download all claim-related information such as claim status and update. When SEPs or financial institution raise a query, the portal notifies the user instantly, providing them with a simple way to respond, and it ensures smooth communication. Let's move to second part, which is AI-powered chatbot. Our chatbot makes interaction simple and user-friendly. It guides user through registration process, help them filing in the claim step by step, and ensure that no important details are missed. User can also check their claim status and other things on this chatbot itself. Again, this chatbot is also integrated with popular platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Insta, providing user to access the service anytime. Third is the search and reporting tool. The platform offers a platform search feature, allowing user and admin to find specific claim or information using filters like what are the claim types, what is the date range, claim in detail, along with other information. And admin can also generate the reports, which provide them insight into trend, claim progress, and resolution timelines. Now, if we go to fourth part, which is advanced analytic dashboard, here we are using tools like Power BI and other to make sure that the dashboards can be created for the admin, for the SAP, so they can see the latest trend, data resolution time for the claim, and providing them and help them in making real-time decision. Okay. Next one is the technology insight. Here we are using AI and ML. We have incorporated Gen AI part. Again, our architecture is very scalable and secure. It makes smooth performance. And third is multilingual capability. Although it is primarily designed in Spanish, it also works with English. Significant benefit: we empower user, we empower supervisor, and we empower consumer trust. Ishan, can you go to next slide, please? Okay, this one is the architecture. So instead of getting into nitty-gritty details, let's have an architecture overview. So on the left-hand side, we have all the front-end systems. Web application provide user with an intuitive platform to log in, file the claim, check the progress, and manage their account. And AI-powered chatbot offer them real-time assistance. And web and social media integration is with the chatbot. So the infra is built with secure authentication mechanism, which is the second layer. And all the heavy lifting is done by our services, which are backend services, admin services, which manages workflow and permission, ticket services handle claim and resolution, user services facilitate account management and claim tracking. And finally, we have our centralized database, which is storing all the data. This database, again, is synced with our Power BI solution on the IBM. So on IBM stage, all the data get stored. And from there, we generate the dashboard on the Power BI. We have provided a note here that we have some screenshot. So if time permits, then of course, we'll go with the screenshot part. Ishan, next one. Okay. Yeah, so impact. Again, we are empowering financial security for the user, making sure that everything is done in user-friendly way. AI-powered chatbot helps the user and the front-end user in making claims and knowing the status, what is the status of the claim. We have optimized operation for FI. FI makes sure that automated process for managing claims, ticket, and inquiries are faster. Dashboard provide them with the real-time solution. Next, we move to cost and time saving. So we have features like audit log, compliance tool, and SLA monitoring, which make sure that standards are followed and it saves time and resources. And fourth is better decision making. So with our Power BI dashboard, we make sure that all the details are, all the trends, user pattern, SLA performance, everything is maintained there. Fourth is our strong regulatory compliances. We make sure that the SLA timer and other things along with the inquiry, make sure that all compliances are being followed, and AI chatbot handle the routine queries. And again, it saves the cost and ensuring resources are allocated efficiently. Shan, can we get into, Nathalie, if time permits, can we get into a few of our screenshots?
Unfortunately, it's already 9:24, and we want to make sure that our last vendor has an opportunity to present. So let's save that for the end. Let's see if we can maybe do that after the last presentation. Thank you so much, Matellio, for presenting and for your amazing work on this project. And it's, again, really important to iterate that this is software development happening on top of the agency's platform so that they'll be able to operate and maintain it going forward. So again, thank you, Matellio, and welcome, Chris from Winnow. Over to you, and tell us about your project and application.
Hello, everyone. Let me bring up my screen. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nathalie. Thank you for joining me this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. Today, I'm going to be presenting the Winnow tech fraud detection case study that we have completed with the Reserve Bank of India. So Winnow, here I'm going to go fast in the interest of everyone's time. Winnow aims to create social value through improved consumer protection and market transparency. Basically, our value proposition is that we believe that with the growing availability of public data, this allows regulators and supervisors to have more and better insight into the mood of the public, both in general and in specific to and towards specific regulated entities. So our dashboard is designed to save regulators thousands of hours while augmenting existing data sources such as complaints database and reporting outputs, as shown by my colleagues at the other presenters today. So we augment all that. So the initial problem that we were brought on to discuss with RBI is that there are currently thousands of financial apps in the Indian Play Store. I'm sure we've all seen this. New apps come in every day. Some of them are legitimate. Many of them are probably legitimate, but many are fraudulent as well, especially in this era of increasing misinformation and disinformation and ever decreasing national boundaries. And so many of these will include things such as exorbitant interest rates, harsh recovery methods, unauthorized use of personal data. Again, some of these are from within the country, some of them are from without, but as regulators and supervisors, that is often your jobs to manage this no matter what, and rightfully so. And so what we do is we are there to help. We do that with these goals in mind. We monitor the Google Play Store for new financial apps. It serves the purpose of identifying both the new apps to monitor and watching for things such as sudden upticks in overall number of new apps. So if, for instance, a bad player is publishing 200 apps to try to flood the space so that regulators or employees of, say, Google or themselves would be overwhelmed and not be able to notice. And so what we do is we track that. We gather things such as metadata, comments, reviews of these posts. We then flag potentially fraudulent apps to supervisors for further monitoring. This includes a mix of manual and automated monitoring using advanced analytics and AI algorithms that we have developed and fine-tuned in-house. And these are then shown on dashboards in front and alerts to the end users, to the supervisors, so that they are able to better have basically updates and to-do lists to be able to track things and filter out the apps that are definitely and unnecessarily to be monitored. I will say that we are proud to say that we have succeeded on this project, which we are delivering in the next 5 days, including everything from the filter monitoring, the gathering, the metadata, our analysis, and our refinement. We are capable of deploying and scaling this production system. In addition to the Google Play Store, which we have done for RBI, our platform also supports other app stores, as well as doing the same for social media companies, including monitoring such pages of regulated entities on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, etc. We are always open to adding to that as well as needs will arise. The challenges, of course, that we face with this is things such as GDPR or other localized laws. We must unfortunately comply with GDPR globally, since we can't guarantee that there's no data gathered from, like, say, dual citizens. This also helps increase the trust from consumers in this, knowing that we're not exposing them to the same problem we're also trying to fix from some of the fraudulent apps. New social media platforms come up. As I said before, this particular prototype focuses only on the app stores, but we enrich our complaints data as brought in from other social media platforms as well. And in order to provide the best product possible. However, one of the big challenges we find is that we require training data. Non-technical clients often don't fully understand this, given the hype often surrounding AI, but it is something that we work with the clients to create if they don't have it already, or to better systematize if they do from previous enforcement actions. And the last challenge is our lack of access to private social media groups, which may mean we are leaving rich data sources on the table. Unfortunately, if we can't get access to it, then we can't see this.
Chris, this is we're just about at time, and I believe this is your last slide, but we're just need to wrap up. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Nathalie. And would we collaborate with other platforms and partners in the SupTech industry, including things such as we can augment other complaint status. So if you're a chatbot that are producing and collecting complaints directly on your regulatory website or the central bank's website, we can augment those complaints and correlate and complement each other so that we can track complaints across the entire ecosystem. We work with you to create visualizations that are useful and unique to your own organization and supervisory necessities. And we are focused on creating social value with our solutions to fully help the society that you are working within to reduce fraud and increase the economic growth. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Chris. What wonderful, packing a lot of information in a very short time. And I believe this session is up at time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us and listening in. And we hope that sharing our experiences will help you. And certainly, by all means, reach out if you have any additional questions. Thanks, everybody.